to every Canadian from coast to coast. So how do you do that? Well, so far I think we've been pretty successful. I've been in Ontario, I've been in Manitoba, and I'm halfway through Saskatchewan. And I think we've reached over 1 million people so far with all our efforts. We've gone through 136 cities and towns where we've been holding press conferences. We've been able to address the universities, police associations, churches, service clubs, ethnic communities. We've been able to get around, and we've been able to get the word out. And I'm sort of becoming sort of like a mailman also, like, and I'm kind of like a human data bank too, because I'm absorbing a lot of information. And, you know, most of the Canadians that I've talked to, and a large majority of them, do have a desire to donate their organs. A lot of people are just confused. You know, they're confused on how to do it. They're not sure of the system that we have, and they don't agree with parts of the system. But they are willing to donate their organs. So it looks like we need to take care of two things here in our country. We really need to get, on a large scale, a massive education and awareness program going from coast to coast, and really promote the importance of organ and tissue donations in a very high-spirited way, because what we're talking about here is people's lives. And we're also talking about the powerful decision one can make and save up to 10 people's lives. I don't think that's quite registered to everyone in this country yet. You know, I think what we really need to do is bring this issue to the forefront. Bring it to the forefront of all our agendas right now, and our government's agendas, and put forth a campaign, a high-spirited campaign, where we will be able to reach each Canadian in a very positive way and let every Canadian know about the benefits. Then we got to take a look at our system, because we're still holding on to a very prehistoric system. I met too many families along the way that had to make the final decision at the hospital, and they were approached during a time of shock, grief-stricken, and they weren't able to answer when somebody approached them about becoming an organ donor. And I talked to a lot of those families, and they were all telling me the same thing. They're living with a lot of regret right now. And they wish that they weren't asked at that moment, because they would have said yes before that, they would have said yes after that. And I've talked to a lot of individuals about what do they think about making our decision legal binding, so we don't have to be that dependent on approaching the family at the worst time possible to make the most important decision. So why are we still in a country that is using that system, where other countries are not using that system, and they're very successful in their rates? And this is something that has to get seriously addressed in our country, because a lot of lives are at stake right now, and we need to bring this to the forefront. We need to have all three levels of government step up to the plate on this. You know, not only to ensure that we can have the best systems for the people the 4,000 people that are presently waiting for organs, but for future generations. Let's try and create a system in our country where families aren't desperately waiting. If any one of you know of families that have any loved ones on the waiting list, they'll tell you the same feeling. They're desperately waiting, knowing that the odds are against them because we have a shortage. And you know what? Canada can do better. So what doesn't make sense here is that we have a public that's willing to donate their organs, and yet we're losing a lot of good available organs. So we need to address the system, and we need to do it immediately. You know, we got to let our governments know that there's nothing more important than life right now, and the saving of life, and also to honor somebody's wish. That's just as important, because when I'm talking to people about becoming organ donors, a lot of people are responding, yes, I want to become an organ donor, and that they hold that very precious to their heart. So why are we using a system where we're approaching the family at the worst time possible and having those decisions vetoed? You know, those very precious decisions. We probably have a lot of people that are turning over in their graves right now, knowing that their wish wasn't honored. You know? So we seriously have to have our governments look at these things and address them. Because we're talking about people's lives. You know, we're talking about people's lives, and we can do better in this country. Canada was always known to have high standards in all areas. Why do we have a low standard in this area? Right now, we do need our governments to get involved and come to the plate with this and address this issue. You know, and we don't need to invent the wheel. Just look at what other countries are doing in their country and why they're so successful in their countries. So, and I need to talk about this the way I am talking about it, because this is what I was doing to get Premier Harris's attention, and he did respond after in September. And, you know, they created the Premier's Advisory Board on organ and tissue donations, and presently they're taking some pretty positive steps in addressing the issue in the province of Ontario. We hope we left a positive effect with the province of Manitoba, and we're hoping that we're going to leave a positive effect with the province of Saskatchewan. And I know we got scheduled meetings with the provinces of Alberta, British Columbia, and the Maritimes, and Quebec. So we're hoping to bring this issue to all the provinces, all the municipalities, you know, and all the people. And, you know, what I always say at the end is that, you know who the winners are going to be? The people on the waiting list. And that's the bottom line. You know, this is why this is all getting done. So we can give those people on the waiting list a fighting chance, we can honor people's wishes, and life can be carried on. And I have such a strong bond to that family that made that unselfish and courageous decision that saved my life and 5 others. One day I would like to meet them if they had that same desire. And presently we can't do that in Canada. So that, along with a shopping list of other things that hopefully I can present to the health minister, the federal health minister one day, hopefully we can address these much needed changes and creation of systems in our country. I want to take this moment to acknowledge some people that have really helped us out. We're doing this on a zero budget.